Hello and welcome to part 3 of my tour around the campsite at Abenteuer und Allrad, the largest off-road RV event in the world. And if you looked at this on the map, you'd notice that this is right next to the sewage farm down there. Thing is this, you cannot tell that, unless you saw it of course, it doesn't smell in the slightest, no problems whatsoever. And so I thought I'd mention that little one to start off with. So that is something which might put people off if they knew. Now you know, but I can assure you there's nothing here which smells whatsoever. Now there's an interestingly coloured vehicle, and a friend of mine, he says he wants to turn the inside of his vehicle, he wants it to go rusty so that it has a more rustic look. This, he put a piece of metal inside. Well, it's the design he's sort of trying to get for himself. We see a number in Germany, I haven't really noticed anywhere else, of people turning fire brigade vehicles into motorhomes. When the fire brigade's had enough of them after whatever 30 years plus, then people buy them up and they turn them into vehicles for RVs. And there's a James Cook Westfalia conversion. It looks to me as though it comes from the 90s. It's great that it's on the road. Oh, now how about this thing here? And I'm always complaining about tents in roofs is not being a bit pointless, but that one there meets my approval, and looks to me to be pretty good, and certainly something I would want to consider. Hey, let's have a look at some wonderful old Mercedes. Auto roller, is that from Roller Team? Don't know the vehicle. Turn this around, and there, panamtour.com. So Pan Americana, I have a friend of mine who's currently she's in Canada, but they're going to go right the way to Tierra del Fuego, although there's a bit in the middle. You can't actually, in Costa Rica, Darien Gap, it hasn't, you have to do that by ferry because there's no road there yet. And I think it's understandable because the jungle's so difficult to build things in. What I find particularly attractive about this, though, is this fantastic atmosphere. Now, bear in mind, this isn't a campsite like a commercial campsite. And a commercial campsite, you wouldn't get people this close together. It's a campsite which is for an event, and so that is why. And people who they know each other, because once see when they form, it's like a circle around. It's usually because they're all mates and come together. You can tell that they often have the same registration area so that when they do things like this. Oh, here's a curious, well, nicely coloured vehicle. I can't say in this case, but in many cases with the military vehicles, that what you've got when you have the rear units are gas proof, which means to say that they're meant for NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical, and therefore being gas proof, you'd hope that cold air, be no cold drafts. Anyway, that's the general plan on something of this nature, which you'd hope for. Now, okay, this is wonderful sunny summer weather here today, but last time this was held in October, because it couldn't be held in the summer because of COVID restrictions, and there was a blizzard, which meant that where the trade fair was held, it was at the top of the hill. It was unsafe. They had to cancel it that day. But nonetheless, there were so many people actually here. It was quite outstanding. And down there we can see a military vehicle making its way across, and I've got myself into an area where I'm going to have to go back, so I'm going to have to close this for the moment. But thanks for watching. I hope you found that of interest, and there'll be a part 4 coming up.